Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Just Juicy podcast. It's your host, Juicy Justine, here to talk about all things juicy in life, getting raw and real. So thanks for listening, and happy to have you here.
Great voice.
Oh, thank you. Hi, welcome back to the Just Juicy podcast. It's your host, Juicy Justine, and I'm here with the amazing Alana.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming by here.
Yeah, this is such a nice setup. I love it.
Oh, thank you. You know how me and Alana met for Hope for Humanity, where you were a speaker?
Yes, in September.
Yeah.
That was great. That was
Tell
really
us
nice.
about that.
It was great. I mean, so me, Carly, Ben, and Jonny, we were taking a walk in the woods one day, and we were just like, we should totally have an event. And so we decided to do it at the woods, and it was great. Just so many people who are fighting for freedom that, I don't know, you just don't expect it in Chicago especially. You can feel like you're totally alone.
That's how I felt for a long time. So when you guys had that event, I was like, what? And it's only 15 minutes away from me?
That's so cool.
Yeah. That's so cool how you guys just started that, talking in the woods.
Yeah. It was very spur of the moment. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see you make a lot of videos. They might be controversial to...
Oh, very controversial. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's great. I think like
Is my voice okay? By the way, I can't tell if I'm talking too loud.
Oh yeah, you're good.
Okay.
We could put it down like that if you want.
I just can't tell. This is so pro.
I love that you love it. Yeah, have the people hear you. What you have to say matters.
For sure.
So what made you fight for your freedoms for humanity? Like what got you started into it? I'm like wondering what awakened you.
Honestly, like ever since, like when the COVID stuff started happening at first, I immediately had an instinct that this is off, like something is weird about this. Like I didn't really feel the panic that everyone else was feeling. And like, I don't know, something just seemed really off about it. And when, like the second they were making everyone wear masks, I thought that was so bizarre. And like, to me that like, alarm bells just in my head, like this is weird, this is off.
Red flag.
Yeah, red flag. Huge red flag. Yeah. And so I don't know, freedom has always been something that I value super highly, and so just to me it was very obvious from the beginning that this is all about taking people's freedom away.
Oh yeah. You didn't comply with like the mask mandate when they first
I
started?
did at first, but then I stopped.
Same.
Yeah. It was just like, okay, this is dumb.
You're like, is this really working?
It's not. I never believed it was actually working. I just did it because I was like, okay, whatever, I'll suck it up for a little bit. But then you realize that it's never going away, and so you can't keep wearing it.
Yeah, most people think that if we did it for like the 2 weeks, it would go away, and it's been over 2 years.
Yeah, I know. It's so crazy. So crazy.
Yeah. What do you think we can do about it? What are some solutions, do you think, with even like the jab, right? You know, can't even say the V word. Yeah,
I know. Honestly, I think it's just people not complying. I think just everyone collectively not complying. But it's so hard to do that when everyone is so brainwashed by the news and by the media that like you're seen as a health threat if you don't do all these things. I don't know.
Right.
It's just, but yeah, I think it takes this, honestly, just like people like us coming together and creating content, having events, hosting like workshops, whatever, just anything where people who think the same can come together is the solution, I think.
Yeah, uniting together.
Yeah.
I'm glad social media, we can use that to our advantage as a tool.
I know. I'm so conflicted about that because it's like I want to get rid of social media, but it's the only reason why I know any of these people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, we got to use it as a tool instead of it using us and brainwashing us with their propaganda.
Yeah, it can be really hard to keep it in check.
What news do you listen to, or like who do you go to for info on?
I love
stuff?
Anomaly. Do you listen to Anomaly? He's so good.
Ooh, I need to listen to him.
Oh, he's so good.
He sounds familiar.
He's on Instagram. He has like a, I think he has like a goatee, I want to say.
A beard goatee.
No, he's really good. I really like him because he's so unbiased, it seems like. At least it seems like it. I mean, maybe he probably is biased, but like he's so, but it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, I really like Anomaly, and I really like, I don't know, Candace Owens is good too, but she's got some things I feel like I can't all the way tell yet. Have you heard of like the whole controlled opposition thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
like
can't
with
tell.
Elon Musk.
Him, Candace Owens, and like all these people.
I wonder how Candace Owens is like opposite. Like, I don't know. I mean, she was talking about off-grid living, and I was like, yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Yeah. I mean, she like, she's been very like anti-vaccine and everything.
I like that.
Yeah, but people were saying, I don't know. I've heard a lot of theories about
tell me.
people. Well, it's a little. I always wonder why certain people's platforms don't get removed and other people's platforms do get removed. Because someone like her, she has millions of followers. She's been exposing all of these things. It's like, okay, why are they still letting her have a platform? Like, how come she hasn't been removed yet? Like, is there some weird, like, chess game being played where, I don't know.
Right?
It gets so far out.
But hopefully what she says is true to her. Kind of like Russell Brand too. He's also
him too. Yeah, Russell Brand. Even Joe Rogan sometimes. Yeah.
Well, sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's certain words. I mean, I'm glad we all haven't gotten canceled.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've gotten several posts removed and stuff. And,
oh my God.
And it's like, I don't even have that big of a following. So it's like, but then I see people like with huge followings who don't get deplatformed. And it just makes me wonder.
The same thing, right?
Even more like conspiracy minded, but like not even really conspiracy, but like.
Really?
But yeah, like it just makes me wonder like. What's like, who's really at the top, and like why are they allowing certain people to have a platform? Are they just trying to like collect everyone who thinks the same and put them in one place and then mess things up for them? Or I don't know. I can get very paranoid.
Yeah, me too. I always think about that. Like they could like totally take our account away or something.
Yeah, anything. Yeah.
But we just got to keep making it.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm glad you spoke out about it, and I love videos that you make too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of controversial.
Yeah, it's good stuff. What is your most controversial, like, things that you talk about?
Oh God, I like everything with all the COVID stuff, the vaccines, and then porn.
Yeah, that was an interesting one to me too, because I used to totally be addicted to porn too.
Okay, interesting. I love meeting other women who struggle with that, because everyone thinks it's just a guy thing,
right?
But so many women struggle with it.
Yeah. Tell me your story with that.
So I had found porn when I was 7 years old.
Me too, so young.
Really?
So young.
It's so common, right?
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
Kind of fucked up.
It's really
true.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I've talked to so many people now. So many people find it when they're really little, really, really little, and they get hooked on it like before age 10.
It's so addicting.
It's so addicting. And it's like shocking. So you want to like keep getting that like adrenaline rush when you watch it. And like, so yeah, I found it when I was 7, and I was like totally hooked on it. And over time, I figured out you could look it up online, and so I started looking at stuff online, and then yeah, it was a full blown addiction for me up until like 2017, and then I started doing NoFap. Have you heard of NoFap?
Like no masturbating?
Yeah, no masturbating, no porn, and I decided to do it, and I started making videos about it on YouTube, and yeah, now. Thankfully, I got over the addiction, but
it's amazing.
But it's been like a battle, you know. I think it's one of the hardest addictions to break.
How did you like break out of it? Like, how did you put your mindset to that? And
It
what
was
made
like,
you know, what were the reasons why you stopped?
So I had seen all these other YouTubers making no-fap videos, and it was mostly men. And so I was thinking like, okay, like maybe it's just has like a bad impact on guys, but like I don't see why it would be such a big deal to masturbate to porn. Like, what's the big deal? And then I saw this one woman, Kasumi Chris. Have you ever seen her videos?
Mm-mm.
Oh, she's really good.
I need to watch it.
Yeah, she's really good. She's this Dutch girl. She's awesome, and she makes no-fap videos. And so I started watching her, and she just talked about all the changes that she went through when she went on no-fap, and I felt like I could really relate to her. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. Let's see if I can do this. And I realized it was so hard to stop watching it. It was so hard to stop watching it, and it was so hard to stop masturbating. Like, I couldn't make it past like a week, honestly.
I'm like, yeah, it
feels so good. DJ. You're so funny. Yeah, like for real though, like DJ every night.
Yeah, right?
Every morning.
Helps you go to sleep at night.
Yeah, like I just like I couldn't stop doing it, and so I was like, okay, I think the only way that I can stop is if I make videos about it on YouTube. I was like, I need to just document the journey so that there's other people watching me, because then it will put pressure on me to not relapse or whatever, you know?
Because people are watching you like
yeah, exactly. And so like I needed that pressure of people watching to like stick with it, because I could not do it by myself.
wow. You need like a community group.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I knew that like, okay, like I don't want to make a relapse video. Like, hey guys, I messed up. Like, but I ended up having to make that video on like day 83.
Wow, that's like quite some time already. That's like a couple of months already though.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
yeah, and that ended up being like my most popular video.
Oh, wow.
On YouTube.
What did you say in it?
Well, I think it's because of the title. I just called it like NoFap Day 83, the relapse. So I think like, I don't know, it was just like.
What made you relapse?
You know what's so funny is like I remember I wasn't even like horny or anything when I relapsed. I was just really stressed out, and I just wanted like a stress release, you know? And I was just like, I'm just going to do this. Like, I don't even care anymore. And honestly, like, I'm not even against masturbating, but like, I just needed to do that to get over the porn
But you weren't
addiction.
watching porn.
Yeah, I wasn't watching porn. No.
So you think like if you masturbate without porn, it's a lot better, right? Or what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Because, yeah, I mean, but the thing is that if you're really addicted to porn,
Oh, yeah.
then I think that, like, masturbating, it's so hard to separate the two. It's like, because when I was masturbating, I was thinking about porn. And then eventually I started watching it again. And then, so, like, after the 83 days, I went back to porn, and I was, like, even deeper in addiction after that for, like, months. And then I went back on NoFap again. So shocked.
I feel like I've been there and done that too.
Yeah, it's like anything, honestly. Like, I've had the same issues with weed, even like smoking weed and then quitting and then going back to it and having it be even stronger than before. It's like there's something about addiction where it's like when you relapse, you go 70,000 times harder than before.
Because you've been so deprived of it for so long, you're
just like,
and then you realize like something hits you, and then right? Is that what happened to you?
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I had gone back to it, and like then I hit a point of depression again, and I was like, oh my God, like I need to go back on NoFap. And then I went back to NoFap, and then that time actually was really good, and I noticed like significant changes. But yeah, I feel like you just have to keep going, like you just have to keep persisting at it. You're gonna have relapses, and you just have to keep going.
Yeah, it's your mindset that will bring you back.
Yeah. What about you? I'm so curious. So you said you were addicted to it.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so bad.
So when did you stop? Or are you still struggling with it? Or
I don't watch like porn anymore, but I mean, I have friends who are in the porn industry, but I don't like, I don't really watch them anymore. I used to, and they started following me on Instagram, and I'm like, whoa, I watched you.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, right? And I'm like, you look so familiar. And I'm like, wait a second, I've watched your videos, but now I like don't watch them now. But
that's so interesting.
Right?
How do you meet these people?
They follow me, and I'm like, wait a sec. Like, I have like 3 porn star friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
They started following me, and I'm like, wow, they look so familiar. And I'm like, you were on Pornhub? And they're like, but yeah, they're cool. I got to know their stories and stuff.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
So what are their, do a lot of them have like sexual abuse history? Is that how they get into it?
One of them told me, I don't know if I'm allowed to say their name, but one of them told me they got into it because they were doing like webcamming, and it was like trying to make income and stuff.
Yeah.
And then
like OnlyFans
kind of like OnlyFans.
Yeah.
But like with webcamming and like live webcamming, and then they were like, people were asking them to do more stuff and more, and then eventually she was just like, she asked her friend if he wanted to get into it, and so they both started doing it.
Oh, interesting.
And then they found there was a lot of money in it, and that's how they got into it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So are they happy? Like, do they like it, or how do they feel
I guess
about it?
And they let they let each other do whoever, and
wow.
Yeah.
So where are you at? Like, what made you want to stop watching porn?
Oh my God. I remember when I first started getting addicted to porn, I don't think I've ever told like anybody, even on the internet, like this. I'm so glad I'm with someone I can relate to.
Yeah, me too. You need to come on to my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And talk about it. I feel like
should.
People need to hear women's stories of porn. But anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Because it feels like more of a guy thing, and that's definitely for sure.
You have to come on my YouTube channel.
Yes, I want to. Okay, so everybody plug what's your YouTube channel?
Oh, yeah, my YouTube channel is Ahana, Ahana.
All right, catch me there.
But anyway, so I want to hear your story with it. So what made you want to stop watching it?
Oh my, okay. So let's see. When I started, I was young too, like you, and I found my dad's computer, and he was watching it, and then he didn't leave the screen. He left the screen open for me to like just look at it. So then I would like watch it, and I got like addicted. Like, yeah, you did so young, and I'd be like, and everybody in the family knew I was doing this.
You're teaching.
Sometimes I DJ out in the living room.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow.
As a young girl, just DJing, like I had no fucking shame about it. People, like my sisters caught me, my dad's caught me, my mom's caught me doing it.
Wow.
Man, it was so bad, dude. It was so bad.
Wow, that's so interesting. Though I love how open you are. But that's so interesting. So did they ever were they like, hey, what the fuck? Like, stop.
My sister was like, what the fuck, stop. My daddy didn't do much about it, and my mom, I don't know if she's just like, what are you doing? I don't know. And I just became like a super sexual person growing up in my teens too.
Interesting.
Yeah, so been with a lot of girls and guys. I mean, I love them, it's all good, but it's when you like keep watching it to the point of like, this is like deteriorating my brain right now. And you want to do it every night, or you want to like stress relief, and it's so normalized in this society, and it's I could feel like something was wrong with it, like like, why is this free and all that? And like, maybe because we're also turning into the product. That's what I found out. And then there's a lot of people who, and when I started getting on Instagram, I found a lot of conscious people. And then they were like, that is a low vibration you're watching. Watching porn is like giving you this dopamine, and it's like deteriorating your brain and your spirit, and the way you look at sexuality is going to change, and it's not real.
Yeah, and it I feel like it affected my sexual orientation. Like, it was like, it made me like think that I was gay, or like that I was like bisexual.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was crazy, because I was like, I would masturbate to the women in the porn, like not to the men, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I've heard that with a lot of women, that they masturbate to the women in the porn and not the man.
Yeah, I feel like it's a mix of both. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because the women too are like, you're like, oh yeah, I should be like that too, or like, oh my god, that's wow, yeah. That's
I just love the hand motions.
Yeah. What do you think about using like toys or like just your hand, or what do you think?
I don't think toys are good.
They're not natural, right?
Yeah, and it kind of, I would assume that it would like lower sensitivity during sex with your actual partner, you know? Like, I think it would make it not feel as good because you're used to something crazier. Yeah.
It's really electric.
But your story is so interesting because I feel like most people, they really hide their porn addictions, and it seems like you were very open about it.
Yeah. No one seemed to stop me that much.
So did you never like were ashamed of it?
I mean, I was a little bit ashamed of it, definitely, because it's like you don't want to be caught doing that. Right? Like, damn. You walk in and I'm just having a good time, and they like give you that look, and then they close the door, and or they say, "Stop it, just see, what are you doing?"
Oh my god!
And I'm like, I don't know. That's taking over me.
I don't know. Okay, so interesting. Okay, so at what point did you like? So how long ago did you stop?
Like, I would say about over a year ago or so.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I just like do stuff with my boyfriend.
So do you feel like is sex different now that you're not watching it than it was before, or like do you feel better now?
And me and my partner actually used to watch porn together to get off, and that was like weird because it's like you're getting off to like somebody else. It's like you're kind of like you know what I mean, you're looking at the screen but it's not your partner, and you're like trying to get horny off somebody else fucking, and it's I was like, this is not natural. We should just be like getting horny off each other and not these two strangers on a screen.
Yeah, I mean that's such a real thing though. Yeah, it's like, you know, I talked to someone once who said that his girlfriend going down on him, like he couldn't get off just from that, and the only way for him to get off was if he recorded her doing it and watched her like through the video screen. Isn't that so interesting? Yeah, because he was that addicted to porn that it's like he needed to see it on a screen to get off, because like seeing it in real life like wasn't doing it for him. Like he needed it on a screen.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but it's like there's something about like the screen. I feel like that's so addictive, and I don't know. It's very interesting.
It's like a Black Mirror.
Yeah. Yeah, and like when you're so used to like orgasming to that, giving your pleasure to a screen, then it's like you get less pleasure from people in person. You
should be like the opposite.
Exactly. Yeah, and so I think that the whole like. Yeah, masturbating to porn with your partner, like watching, it's like, it's still, like you're saying, it's giving your pleasure away to like something that's not real, something that's on a screen instead of the person you're actually with, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like the way you put it too, giving your pleasure away. Like,
yeah.
So true.
Yeah. That's so interesting. So have you always been very like open sexually like that? Like you, like it seems like you are very like comfortable talking about it.
Oh yeah, I definitely am. What about you?
No, I've not really ever been comfortable talking about it.
Comfortable talking about it too.
Well, now, you too, but I That's so interesting. So did you, like, how did you like, I don't know, how did you like get to be so comfortable? Because I feel like most people who have porn addictions, they're very, like, you know, awkward, like isolated, like, you know, like can't make eye contact, like very, you know, like awkward.
Did you feel like that before?
Yes.
Yeah?
But you don't seem that way. You seem like you were probably always very open, like totally fine person.
Yeah, it's definitely, I definitely like would talk about it. I think like talking about it made me more comfortable with more of my friends, and just being like, just having an open conversation and just saying, hey, like, you think this is normal?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, no. Oh, okay, maybe I should work on that.
Great.
How did you first get like to talking about it with someone? Like, what made you open about it? Like, what would you finally talk about it when you said you were like, you know?
Well, I mean, I didn't have anyone to talk about it with. That's why I started talking about it on YouTube.
Oh.
And like, and at the time that I started making nofap videos, I did not have a big following. Like, I had a very small following, and so I figured like, okay, this is like not that many people like, watching. But then like people started watching those videos, and now I talk about it all the time. I feel like, but yeah, before all of this, I didn't really like talk about it that much.
Wow, really?
Yeah, a lot of shame for sure.
I'm glad you got over that.
Me too. Yeah, I think talking about it is so necessary.
Very.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm glad you did.
I'm glad you always were comfortable talking about it.
Yeah, it's gonna inspire so many other women and maybe men too.
Yeah. So how did you like? Was it easy for you to stop watching it, or did you have?
I think it was hard to stop watching. Yeah. Definitely, really hard to stop watching it.
Yeah.
Like how you were talking about. Like, I went through a phase where I stopped, and then like relapsed after like it was months and months. And then I was like, what am I doing after like 2 weeks or something? I'm like, this is wrong. I just said I wasn't going to do it, and I did it.
It happens.
It happens. Yeah. I had met up with this other porn star girl. She invited me to Exotica. And so then I just started watching her content after I met her. I was like, wow. But yeah, and then after that, I was like,
live a lifestyle. I'm like so unfamiliar. So you just like know porn stars.
Well, yeah, they hit me up. I actually.
That's so interesting that, yeah, I don't like just know porn stars.
Yeah. It's so crazy how they come to me. They literally start following me on Instagram. And then I'm like, wow, they're so good looking. And I mean, one of them, she asked me to do a video, and it was like,
okay, did you do it?
No. Okay. They were like, I'll fly you out to LA, I'll pay you $1,800.
Wow.
And all your food, blah blah blah.
So this is how it happens.
Yeah, I think so. They like kind of like
they follow you, and then they try to lure you.
Yes.
And, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that happens a lot. Then maybe that's the majority of how people start. They get enticed to it, but then once you like are on camera and you've done that, it's like now it's there forever, and they can like pay you less. I feel like that's what
they
happens.
can do whatever they want, and if you like change your mind later, it doesn't matter. It's like gonna be up there forever.
Exactly. Yeah, and the shame and all that, and you don't know like these people with the studios. I mean, they may get tested or whatever.
Oh yeah, I've heard. Yeah, I mean honestly, the STD thing. Like I have such a different opinion about health. Anyway, like I feel like I just personally feel like anything is curable, but regardless, you don't want to be like, you don't want to just be like having sex with like thousands of people, but like, but I mean, I think the whole like culture of the porn industry, it is like, like people getting lured into it, people being enticed, people being like answering modeling calls where it's not explicit what it is. And then they get like, slowly. And I don't know. I really feel for the women and the men who get enticed to it and then regret it later. like, I feel for them. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's not right.
It's not right that to like to have stuff like that up there of someone who doesn't want it up. It's like so soul crushing, you know?
Yeah, especially. What do you think it does for like your spirit when you like have sex with multiple people, or like even masturbating?
I think it like empties your soul. It like kind of empties it. And honestly, like I totally have no judgment at all over people who like to have lots of sex or don't. It's like, but I just think that everything has a cause and effect. And in my experience, like having sex, you know,
is sacred.
It's sacred. Yeah. And like doing it with people who don't truly love you and you don't truly love it, like kind of leaves a sadness in your soul after, you know, and it makes you feel empty.
Yeah, I want to have connection with the person I would do it with.
Yeah, exactly. You want to feel like you can rely on them and that like they would be there for you if you did get pregnant or something, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, that's definitely a big one.
Yeah. I mean, people just like,
People just like what?
People just completely detach pregnancy from sex these days, which is like, you know, there's so many different purposes for sex, you know, like people use it for bonding, for pleasure, but like it seems like these days people believe that becoming pregnant from sex means it's a mistake or that something went wrong. But it's like that's the natural process. That's what's supposed to happen. Yeah. Exactly. It's like it went right. Like that's what happened. I don't know. It's just, I've actually been learning more about women's fertility and how I didn't even realize this, that there's only like a certain amount of days each month that a woman can get pregnant.
Yeah, ovulation.
Yeah, I didn't know that like for the majority of days you can't get pregnant as a woman.
Yeah. Unless you're like really fertile or something.
Yeah. Super fertile.
Would you want kids?
I do want kids, yes. I want kids. I want to be married. I want that whole thing. Yeah.
Do you have a boyfriend right now?
No, I just went through a breakup.
Oh no.
It's okay.
Well, you'll find another. I'll find
someone.
Yeah. Who's your ideal guy?
Anyone. Just kidding. No, actually, the guy I was just with, he is so great. I love him so much. Like it ended like fine.
Hard feelings.
No hard feelings. Like it ended on very good terms. So
that's good.
No hard feelings. But I definitely want to meet, you know, my husband, you know, but it's hard out here these days, you know.
There's so much to check off now. It's like,
I know, right?
What would be your ideal guy? Like, what would their qualities be?
Ooh, this is so much fun. Let's see. Definitely. I mean, so I had my journey to God or whatever, so he would have to be very connected to God.
I love that.
Yeah, very, very connected to God for sure. And yeah, we would have to have the same values. We would have to have the same like ideas about lifestyle and parenting and all that stuff. He definitely would have to play more of a traditional masculine role for me. Like I don't want like a modern relationship.
What's a modern relationship?
Like I don't want a relationship where like ideally I would want to set up where I could raise my kids at home and not have to like worry about, you know, contributing 50% of the income to the bills and everything. Like I want to focus on the kids and the house and all that stuff, and I want my husband to like provide and protect and, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's so controversial to say that.
Yeah. Because everybody's like, it should be 50-50. But women do so fucking much.
Yeah.
We do a lot.
And honestly, like, I don't mind, like, on YouTube, like, I have like a side business on YouTube and everything, and it's great. I love it. I'm going to always do that. But I feel like for the attraction to be there between a man and a woman, the woman needs to be feeling feminine and the man needs to be feeling masculine. And I feel like that, like, there's an attraction in that when it's not there, like, relationships fall apart, I think.
Yeah, it really depends on...
It depends on the person.
Yeah, it depends on the person.
Yeah.
But ideally, too, I like that.
Yeah.
It seems traditional. I mean, women can work, too, which is great.
Yeah, totally, women can work.
Yeah.
But I do think, though, that, like, when kids come into the picture...
they have to give your full attention.
Yeah,
attention to them.
And it just gets really hard to, like, you know, any marriage that I've seen where both parents are working and there's kids involved, it seems like the woman always ends up doing more. Always.
That was my mom.
My mom, too. It's like, like when kids are involved, if the woman is working... she's also doing most of the housework, doing most of the caretaking, doctor's appointments, whatever. It's like, and that's not 50-50.
She's like, superwoman by then.
Yeah, and I just feel like it's not fair. I don't know.
Right? We have to, like, ruin our bodies.
And that's the other thing, too. I feel like women's bodies only get ruined when their hormones are imbalanced from having so much stress. And it's like...
Yeah, and you just gave birth.
Yeah, I feel like for a woman, for her to get her body back or whatever, she needs to be under very low stress where she can focus on resting, she can focus on her health, on her nutrition, on her fitness. And in order to do that, she can't have, like, a full-time job and be, like, this super mom at home. It's just not... gonna happen. Like, you can only focus on so many things at once, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely... What do you think the guys should be doing while, like, you know, girls are going through that?
Be as supportive as possible. Just handle the things that would make her load lighter, you know? Like, if you, like, she just went through birth, she's going through all these changes in her body and all these hormone fluctuations, and she has a baby now. It's like, and the breastfeeding, and like all this stuff, it's like, okay, like literally just do everything else. Like, she's already doing all that. Like, just you take care of everything else.
Yes.
like let her handle, like, feeding the kid and getting her mental well-being set and everything. Just like, yeah.
And what do you think about schooling for the kids? Or do you believe in homeschooling?
I believe in homeschooling at this point.
Me too.
Yeah, I can't.
Not the indoctrination centers.
No, like, that is, like, where freedom is lost, I think, is in schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about schools?
I think that they're just, they're just like indoctrination camps for the government, and people let their children go there and they don't even know what they're learning. They don't even know the dynamics that are at school. And then it's like their kids come home and they don't even have any insight into their lives. It's like there's such a big separation between parents and their kids these days. And it's like
huge. Yeah,
like there's no, like, emotional involvement, you know? And I just feel like to be a stay-at-home mom and to homeschool your children, I would just imagine they would come out so much better. Assuming that you yourself are a healthy-minded mom.
Yeah.
Because if you're, like, a toxic parent and you're homeschooling, then you can really mess your kids up.
No, that is true.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be, like, well-adjusted.
Yeah. So did you, you didn't go to college, right? I assume?
I did go to college.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
You got your degree and everything?
I got my degree.
Damn.
Probably a mistake, yeah.
What did you go for?
Dance.
Oh, okay, you can dance.
I can dance. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you use it? Do you use your degree for dance?
I did. So, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I danced professionally in, like, these different dance companies and, like, different shows and stuff in Chicago when I first graduated, and I was working at a dance studio. Yeah, I've like worked as a dance teacher and, like, did private lessons and group classes, and Yeah, I mean, the job I have now, like, I had actually gotten hired as the dance teacher at this one school in Chicago.
Nice.
But their program ended up not going through. And so they, like, I got switched to, like, this other job at the same school, but it's different. But anyway, yeah, so I did stuff with it. But yeah.
What do you do now?
So now, well, I just got fired.
The breakup and getting fired. Oh, no.
I know, right? It's just like, God. Okay. It's okay.
Everything's going to be all right. It can always be replaced, all of that.
Yeah.
For something better, you know, one door closes, another opens.
It was because I didn't comply with the mandates.
Oh, well, I'm glad you didn't comply with the mandates.
Yeah, I was, hell no, yeah. And so, yeah, like, it just wasn't going to work. So
they were telling you to get the jab, or what?
Well, actually, so yes, at first, but then I had submitted a religious exemption,
good.
And they were okay with that. But then they said that I have to do the testing, and every single week, and I did not want to do that, so I just said no, and I wasn't wearing the mask ever. So it was kind of inevitable, but like, yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you stood up for your rights. You're so much more worthy than like what they're.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. I think that people, well, I do feel for people who like have kids and like, you know, they have to pick between
relying on this.
Yeah, supporting their kids and stuff. But like, I don't have kids. I am not like, you know, responsible for anyone except myself, so it's like I could afford to lose the job. So yeah,
you'll find many more that won't require that.
Yeah, I'll be fine
unless we move out of Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, what about you? Are you gonna stay in Chicago?
I don't want to stay here for the rest of my life.
I know, right? Yeah. Where do you want to go?
I love Florida, but I think I'd want to go to Arizona because there's more states around it. And first I wanted to go to Florida because there is a lot of freedom there. I was there earlier this year and it was great. But the only thing is that it's like surrounded by water. So like if there was a tsunami that hit or HARP, you know, like if they mess with the weather and like they know all the freedom people there and they flood that shit, then the only way out is up. And I just don't think I want to get caught up in that. I've heard that theory, and I'm like, that makes sense. It's like a huge island. But, yeah, I want to be somewhere warm for sure. What about you? Where would you want to be?
Yeah, I would want to be somewhere warm.
Right?
I like Texas.
Texas is great, too.
Yeah, or even, like, me and, do you know Carly?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, me and Carly are supposed to go to North Carolina at the end of this month to visit our friend Ashton. Do you know Ashton?
No.
Okay, yeah.
Who's Ashton?
Ashton.
Let the people know who Ashton is.
Ashton's great. Hey, Ashton.
Ashton, what's your last name?
She's great. What is her last name? Oh my God, I'm like drawing a blank right now. But she's great.
She a freedom fighter?
She is. She is. Her, yeah, she is a freedom fighter.
What's her Instagram?
I think it's Ashton something. Ashton, so I'll have to.
Yeah, just send it.
Look it up.
Yeah, just send it to me later.
My phone's over there. Yeah, I'll send it to you later. Yeah, no, she's great. Yeah, she's a total freedom fighter. She's a great mother, and yeah, great.
A mother. So. Why North Carolina? You guys are visiting.
So Ashton's out there right now, and she loves it, and so like and I know that North Carolina doesn't seem to have very many restrictions.
Good.
And I feel like it's not a place that you hear about as much as like Florida and Texas. So I feel like it wouldn't be as like oversaturated or targeted. Yeah, it's like, that's so good. Yeah, I think like that too sometimes.
Right? Like all the hype and you never know what they're going to do there. God damn.
Yeah, I know, right? That's actually a good point.
It could be like a trap, but almost seems like.
Wow.
But Chicago's already a trap right now.
Yeah. I mean, geez. Yeah. Yeah, wow. So when would you move, do you think?
Definitely. I want to move as soon as I can, but I definitely have things to do here first, which is like, okay. But definitely before 2030, I would love to, but even sooner the better, maybe by next year or the next year, hopefully. But I feel like things are going to get really crazy here. That's why I'm like, I don't want to be here where it's cold.
Yeah.
And you're freezing if they cut the power, all this shit.
Yeah, you're screwed. Yeah, totally screwed. I know. I want to take some survival classes, like how to build your own fire. We should take survival
classes with Carly too.
I know. Yeah, Carly. Yes, like Carly should just host her own workshop about this stuff.
Yeah,
and we will join.
Let's do a podcast with her. I have a third mic.
Let's do it. Oh my God, Carly would be amazing. I love her. I need more women in my life. Yes. Carly. You guys should come on my channel too. Yeah. And we can talk about relationships or something.
Yeah. I would love that. Okay. I like the relationships.
I know. It's such a good topic.
Yeah.
It's on everyone's mind all the time.
Yeah. Especially like dating now, like how you're going to date like right now, right?
Yeah.
Like,
how long have you been together with your boyfriend?
Over almost 5 years in July.
Wow.
Yeah, it's my longest one.
Solid.
Yeah, very solid.
That's so great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Happy for you.
Thank you. I hope you find your man's that is a good one.
I know. I hope so.
You will. We're affirming that.
Yeah. It's just so tough, relationships like this last one. I really fell in love and I was like, but now I'm just wondering if feelings really don't mean anything. It's like clearly like they don't.
How come you say that?
Because it's like you could feel something and if it's not matched, it doesn't matter really. Like it doesn't even matter what you feel. And even if it's reciprocated, like sometimes I get fears when I hear these crazy ass stories of like people who've been together for like 20, 30 years and then one day someone wakes up and they're like, oh, not really feeling it anymore, and then just like leaves. It's like, oh, okay.
That's right. We never know when we're going to have someone till like the very end, or what if they die, or what if they want to wake up and leave you. Yeah,
it's like relationships are just they just bring all the fear out of people. I feel like I've been learning about attachment styles too.
Oh, yeah. I think that's very key to like how you were raised to like love, I guess, when your parents did.
Yeah.
Kind of like how you will take it.
Exactly. So you've looked into it.
Yeah. Too. What do you think your type is?
I used to be super anxious, preoccupied, attached. And then over the past couple of years, I've really worked on myself. And honestly, I would say I'm like secure now. I want to say I'm secure now.
Yeah.
I want to say that.
I want to say that.
Yeah, but it's like you just never know. Because it's like I thought I was so secure. And then in this last one, I noticed like anxieties coming out of me again. And it's just like, oh, I guess this is like something that you just have to
work on every day.
Always work on. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I don't think you're ever done like being like, oh yeah, now it's everything's all good and I'm secure.
Yeah.
But yeah, people change all the time, even ourselves. So.
Oh, is that your doorbell?
Yeah, I think that's my doorbell.
Oh, you should go get it? Go get the door.
Okay, let me go get the door.
Okay.
Like, let me pause this. We're talking about relationships.
Yeah. Relationships.
Yeah. You were just in one, now you're out of one.
Yeah.
Are you looking for another one or no?
Oh, God. I mean, I just got out of this like 2 days ago.
Oh,
so
wow.
like,
2 days.
Yeah. So right now I'm like just trying to, I got to get over this first. But yeah.
Yeah. Eventually.
Eventually. Yeah. Yeah.
Hit up Alana. You got to meet the criteria though.
Sounds so desperate.
He'll come to you. He'll come to you.
Yeah. That's the other thing too, is that like, I just have this idea that relationships should be organic and like, the
not
dating
through
apps.
The dating. Yeah, I was about to just ask you about that.
I just don't like my mom. She's always like, oh, you should do the dating apps. Just like it just feels so artificial, not organic, and just like, I would rather just meet someone out in my day-to-day life naturally,
Yeah.
How'd you meet your boyfriend?
I was dating his friend first.
Really?
But his friend fucked up real bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I don't know if I could even talk about
Okay,
it. But,
sure.
his friend literally had a micro penis. And like and then he would brag about like how he's got a big thing, and then he's like, oh yeah, I get all the girls, and he would show me all the girls that he was like, oh yeah, I've been with her and her, and I'm like, how can you be a fuckboy? You have nothing to fuck with and you're playing with these girls. And then one day I told him that shit, or I told one of his friends that, and he got mad. He went to the club and he made out with some other girl on his Snapchat story. Like,
I see so many red flags here.
Yeah, red flags as fuck. So when I saw the story of him making out with another girl, I cried. And then Pal was there, and he was like there for me. And then he also told me to join his insurance business, which I did. And then, yeah, we were learning more than just insurance. And yeah, ever since we started getting together, we were together for like inseparable. Like, we weren't even dating yet, but we were just like always wanting to hang out with each other, and it was great. And he was like my best friend.
Wow, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
That's an adventure.
Yeah, definitely an adventure. Like, it felt more organic that way. not through an app, but his friend.
Well, okay. I mean, your situation, it seems like his friend was kind of a dick. So,
So yeah, and then now it's my longest relationship. He's the sweetest.
So what happened between him and his friend? Was his friend pissed?
I think he's a little salty, but they're still friends. I think they still just talk, but they don't hang out really.
Okay,
like they'll be like happy birthday or whatever, and
okay.
And I have no hard feelings towards the other guy, towards him. Like, I don't hate anybody. I don't hate any of my exes, even the ones that were so bad, Yeah.
That's good.
Just giving, like, forgiveness. Yeah,
That's
just
good.
having, like, a good, like, consciousness and heart. And, like, I don't have hate for anybody.
That's
even
good.
if they
That's
fuck
healthy.
me over.
That's very healthy.
Yeah. Do you
Very
feel
hard
the
to
same?
do. I do, yeah.
That's
I mean,
good.
I definitely used to hold on to resentment and stuff, but like, yeah, having anger in your heart towards other people who've hurt you, it's like, it's understandable, but at a certain point, it just weighs you down. You just have to like give people grace and just like, yeah.
Because being full of hate is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get poisoned.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And it just, and honestly, like, I think your camera just went off.
That's okay. Well, we still have the audio, guys, so
Okay, for sure.
we're good. I'll keep that in the YouTube video.
Cool.
All right, so we'll just see a picture of us as we talk.
Yeah, great. Well, yeah. Well, wait, what were we just talking about though?
Oh yeah, no hate for
no hate.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I think that like, yeah, just having resentment, even if people have wronged you. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Is that I feel like I've learned a lot over the years that when people do things to hurt you, like literally never take it personally. Like it's literally something that they're going through that like is coming out onto you in this moment, but it's hardly ever about you. It's like anytime I've been hurt in the past by people, I had to always come to the realization that, okay, it wasn't me. It was like something that they were going through. They didn't know how to handle it, so they made a stupid decision that hurt me, but like it wasn't personal.
They're like projecting.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like people do that. Even sometimes myself, I
me too.
Yeah, I think all of us have.
Yeah.
It's just recognizing it, and then what can we do about it, and especially letting the other person know. Yeah. Like, or just like you have compassion for like, oh, they're feeling like that, and I guess, but it doesn't make it right by any means. Like, oh yeah, just come yell at me.
Well, I do feel like you have to go through the anger first. Like you have to feel it first. You have to feel it. You have to embrace it.
Yes.
But then you have to let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually, you can't keep holding a grudge.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's a great thing to say, and for people to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you like used to ever hold on to grudges to your exes, or
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
But then eventually I'm like, I think especially my first love, because I think whenever you're, your first love, you think, oh yeah, like this is supposed to be the one, or I think I'm gonna marry this person. And I'm like so naive to it all.
Yeah.
And and it was just like your first one, so like I took it so seriously, like oh my god, like how could you ever talk to another girl? But it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that I felt like, oh, they can't talk to another girl or whatever. I mean, like in a friend way. But yeah. Now I used to when they first cheated on me, but now it's just like if it happens, it's not meant to be, and clearly it's a sign from the universe to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, like cheating, it's one of those things that like people do it for all different reasons. I'm realizing now. It's like they're like people like.
Are humans really monogamous at this point?
I think if you want to be monogamous, you have to almost like consciously be trying to keep your impulses under control. Like if you are someone who has poor impulse control, it's going to be hard to be monogamous. But if you have good impulse control, and if you have good, like, if you know what your goal is, and honestly with God and everything, I think that you can be monogamous. But I do think that by nature, people have a wandering eye.
Yeah, I feel like in nature they do. Because everybody's like cheating on each other or whatever. Or maybe, and it depends how they define it too. Everybody has their own definition of what cheating is too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, like, there's all different kinds of cheating. Like, there's some people think that cheating is purely like having sex with someone else, but there's like emotional cheating, and then there's like cheating where you may not be having sex with them, but you're hanging out with them behind your partner's back, and even though you're not being sexual, it's still something you're hiding from your partner. It's just like there's so many layers to it.
Yeah, it can be messy, right? Very
messy. Yeah, that's why I feel like, have you heard of the concept of radical honesty?
Tell me about it.
It's where you're just totally honest about everything with your partner, totally honest about literally everything. Like,
wow, I like that.
Yeah, so like there's no secrets, and like there's no game playing. I feel like dating these days is all games.
Yeah. Just be straight up with what you want, you'll get it,
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. How would you define cheating in your book? Like,
if you were wow, good question. My definition has gotten so much stricter now about what cheating is. It's like I wouldn't like. There was a point in time where I wouldn't have thought that watching porn was a form of cheating, and now I see it as cheating if a guy is like gonna watch porn behind my back while we're dating.
Yeah, because
feels
it's
like cheating. Yeah, it just feels like, okay, so you're splitting your like sexual attention up between me and porn. And just knowing, like, with myself, like when I was addicted to porn, knowing how it affected my relationships, like it totally made me less attracted to the men I was with.
Really?
Yes, 100%. Like there'd be, and like even when I would have sex in the past, I would be imagining porn during sex because I couldn't, like the moment wasn't enough for me. Just like, I've
been guilty of that.
Yeah, it's just like, and I'm just thinking, okay, like if a guy's having sex with me, I don't want him to be thinking about porn like while he's doing it. I want him to be like with me.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, well I have to be that way too then.
Yeah, it has to go both ways, right?
Yeah. So yeah, my definition is like so much more strict now. Yeah, how do you define cheating?
Well, I definitely, all of that for sure. Yeah, the whole porn thing. I'm glad me and him have stopped watching that. But yeah, how do I define? Yeah, definitely like even some contact. I don't know. I mean, like if you're just saying, hey, like, oh, they're pretty or whatever, or hey, he's handsome, like, I don't think that's cheating. I think that you're just
that's not cheating. That's not cheating.
Look.
Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine.
Yeah, that one is fine.
Yeah, you're never not gonna
think someo's like
attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you don't have to masturbate to them.
Oh my god. Well, that's a different story. Definitely taking it a bit. You must really like the way they look.
Or honestly, like I've talked to men who say that they picture porn stars when they're having sex with their wives. Like they'll picture porn stars instead of like the wife they're having sex with. It's just like, ugh, you know, like that's gotta be, I think that anytime that's happening where like someone's checking out during sex, I think the other person on a subconscious level, they can feel it. And I think that it manifests as like distance in the relationship. Like people might feel like something's off, but they don't know what it is. And it's like,
that's such a good way to look at it.
Because I saw it happening in my past relationships where it's like, I would be in situations where I would almost prefer to masturbate than to have sex with my partner, you know?
What?
Messed up. So messed up.
Damn. Well, I mean, it's how you really felt, which is like, it's honest, it's true, and...
Yeah, and like, yeah, it's just so powerful. And when you get used to masturbating like that, it's like you know, you get very desensitized. And so, like the guy could be doing the craziest stuff and you won't feel anything. You're like, eh. But like now, like since being on NoFap and everything, like honestly, like the littlest touches make me feel so much now.
Wow.
It's like, yeah, like you get all your sensitivity back. And I think it, like, you know, I mean, I kind of have sworn off of sex actually.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Even with your boyfriend?
Yeah,
your ex-boyfriend?
We didn't have sex. Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
So like, you know, like he likes you for you, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, I decided that in 2018 that I wasn't going to have sex anymore until I'm married. And so, yeah, I know. And
what made you come to that?
I just basically, the whole NoFap thing and realizing that sex is sacred. Definitely and that like, I just started to realize that like sex really deeply impacted my emotions. And I was like, okay, like I cannot handle heartbreak like this. Like I need to just, like the next man I have sex with has to be with me for the long run, has to be the one I'm going to have kids with. Like, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes it more serious in the dating game now. Like,
yeah, it weeds out a lot of people.
A lot of fuckboys.
All the fuckboys. It weeds out all of the fuckboys. Exactly. You know, because you know that someone really is getting to know you for you. And like when sex is off the table, it makes you focus on what's really important when you commit to someone, you know, like, yeah, can we get along? Can we handle disagreements well? Can we, you know, like have fun together? Are we compatible? It's like you focus on all the other parts of the relationship.
Yes. And that's what makes it so special when you guys do it, is when you connect on all these aspects.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you become one.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes. It's a great philosophy and great way to live by. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's like totally no judgment though for people who don't want to wait. So, like you know, like I totally get it.
What age did you lose your virginity?
When I was 18.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And wait, how young are you now?
I'm 31.
Whoa! You don't look 31. Oh my god!
I can tell you're really young. How old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay, yeah. I figured you're in your early 20s. Yeah.
Wow, you look so young.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Alana looks like she's in her 20s. Everyone.
Oh, thank you.
That's incredible, though. So wow. So since 2018, so you were like
28.
28.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you had sex for 10 years, and then now given a break.
Honestly, like, even, I feel like college is usually the most promiscuous time for people in general. So, like, honestly, like, I would say, like, the majority of my experiences were during college, like, in like, a 4-year span. But, like, since then, honestly, like, I haven't really, like...
experimented
that much. Yeah, I don't know. Like... Yeah, I just feel like at this point, I just see sex totally different from how I used to see it. And it's just, like, you have to focus on the other parts of the relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are the most important parts of a relationship?
Oh, what a good question. Communication, trust, reliability, similar values, similar belief systems, so huge. Like, oh my goodness. Like, oh my goodness. And just like someone who you can handle disagreements with. I think that's such a big deal. It's like someone, like, if you're with someone who you can't disagree with and, like, handle that well, it's not a good sign. You know, it's like, okay, so
we need compromise.
Yeah, you need to figure out how you guys can resolve conflicts. Honestly, I feel like that's what it's all about. You have to pick someone who you can resolve conflicts with really well, who you're attracted to, and who you have the same values with and the same life goals. And that's it. That's, like, the one.
Yes.
But I don't know anymore. Do you believe in the one?
In the one, like the very
soulmate,
one.
Yeah, like destined to be with.
I think so. I think there's soulmates and twin flames.
I've heard of that. Yeah,
like someone that's just like you. I think, like, there's two different kinds. Like, the soulmate is like who you need, that's like opposite of you, and then, like, twin flame is like someone who's just like you. What would you prefer?
Neither. I think they're both demonic.
Why are they demonic?
Oh my goodness!
Tell me about that.
I had a twin flame experience.
You did?
It was so demonic. It was
why?
So demonic.
Oh,
it was just like, oh my goodness. We went through that whole, like, runner chaser thing and, like, thinking that this is the one, and then, you know, all the coincidences were there, the freaking angel numbers, and all the synchronicities, like the telepathy, like, it was all there. But now looking back on it, I feel like it was the same demonic spirit fooling both of us.
Huh?
Yeah, because there was no peace in that experience. No peace.
Really?
Just high anxiety and high emotion all the time. It's like an emotional roller coaster that I realize now is totally not love. An emotional roller coaster is never love. It's like it's just like a dopamine rush or something.
Yeah. How do you, like, what do you mean by emotional roller coaster?
Like, just like so many ups and downs, no steadiness, no stability, just like constantly just like going through highs and lows and just like all over the place. It's never just stable.
Yeah.
You know?
That's not good. That's not a good sign.
Not a good sign. Not a good sign. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So, like, what was your longest relationship then? Like, what, like, how long?
Like 3.5 years.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what do you learn from all your relationships? What did you learn from all your relationships you've ever been with?
What a good question. I have learned that... What have I learned? I've learned that majority of the time, like, successful relationships is literally just both people deciding to stick it out with each other, and that's it. It's like just literally deciding to be with each other, and that you should never trust your feelings, because your feelings can lie to you all the time. And your feelings can change so much. So that's what I've learned, is that, like, love is really not based on feelings. It's like literally based on a decision that you make to commit to this for the long run, you know?
Yeah, to work on it no matter how bad it gets.
Exactly.
Yeah, you choose love every day.
Yeah, exactly. What about you? What have you learned from your past relationships?
Oh my. I've definitely learned what a good guy actually is. That's for sure.
What is a good guy?
someone who is genuine, who is honest. I mean, you know, there's been times where we both haven't been so honest, but like when you finally like, you know, you can confide that in that person and you can trust them. And like there's definitely things to work on. Yeah, like if they can like work things out with you and not just get mad easily. Like someone who's mature, I love that. Who's patient and generous and kind and compassionate and respectful. And yeah, like this shows you affection and we can work on like, yeah, when you guys fight, they want to work on it. They don't want to just, you know, ignore you.
Yeah, or they don't want to like leave the second a problem comes up.
Right. Because there's been relationships like that and it's like, really? Is that like we're not worth fighting for a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that people have this mindset that relationships have to feel good all the time, or like that they have to be like perfect, or it's wild.
It doesn't have to be perfect all the time, but
it won't be perfect all the time. Yeah.
As long as you're happy most of the time, then it's a good relationship. Yeah,
I think so too. And as long as you're like, honestly, as long as both people want to make it work, they can make it work. If both people want to make it work, it'll work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We try to make it work always. Yeah.
Yes.
How are some of the ways that you would make it work with your partner? Like, what are your strategies?
Honestly, not taking things personally has been such a huge game changer for me. Just like in the past, anytime I've been hurt, it's because I was taking the other person's behavior personally, like to mean something about me. Like, okay, if they're treating me bad right now, if they're not getting back to me, or if they're like, you know, whatever, if they're looking at other women, if they're like doing this, if like whatever what is that they're doing, it literally does not mean anything about me. It doesn't mean that I'm bad or that I'm like ugly or that I'm this or that I'm that. It's like literally not personal. It allows you to really like love the other person more, you know? And so like, yeah, even in this past relationship, like things would come up, and rather than go back to my past patterns of like taking it personally and like getting upset, it's more like having a care and compassion for the other person and like, okay, I know that they didn't do this because of anything about me. So what are they going through that like what are they going through right now? Or just like being selfless and like I said, this guy was great. Like I love him. He's great. but yeah, I think just like not taking things personally is how you can work on a relationship and make it better, by really like seeing your partner's like behavior as something that they're going through and not personal. It's like it really lets you work on the relationship more.
Yeah, having empathy for that person.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you let them know that it's not good to lash out on you, or...
Well, yeah, like you state your boundaries without getting super emotional about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now that is key.
Very key.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emotions are so scary sometimes. Like they can totally overtake you, and like people, I feel like that's all life is about, is learning how to handle emotions, learning how to process emotions.
We're emotional beings.
Very much so.
That's what I feel like with society today. Like they're getting played on their emotions into, you know, complying with the system.
Absolutely. People are allowing themselves to be driven by fear and driven by like, just total chaos, you know? Yeah.
How do you feel like they're playing on our emotions with society today?
Just everything in the media, like the constant fear mongering, the constant focus on like bad things, on like negative things. There's an over focus on negatives and not positive things in the world. but also with everything else, with food and with porn. Like everything is meant to numb you away from your intuition and like separate you from God, pretty much, you know?
Yeah. How did you find God?
Through giving up porn.
Wow.
Yeah, giving up porn.
Oh my God.
Definitely.
That's so amazing that you found that after.
Yeah.
You know?
How did you find God? Are you into God? Are you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually went to church camp before. And
Cool.
Yeah, first I came from like Catholic and then to like Christian. Now it's like I'm spiritual and I also believe in God. Like,
Oh, interesting.
You know, yeah. Like, yeah, and I definitely believe the revelations are happening like right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting you grew up Catholic.
Yeah. What about you?
I grew up kind of, my mom's Hindu, my dad's Jain. We went to like temple a handful of times growing up, but honestly, like they didn't really raise us with much of a religion, really.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you never were like into what they were into?
They weren't even that into it. Like my mom wasn't even that into it. Like my dad is super into his religion, but like, yeah, they never really brought us totally on board onto anything. So we had a very like open-ended religious upbringing. It was like very almost like non-existent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they would let you do whatever you wanted?
Yeah, we could explore whatever we
Nice.
really wanted to. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, like, how did you get into... So after you gave up porn and then you started looking into the Bible, or did you have friends that were into
I
it?
had friends. I had
yeah.
friends who always seemed like they were at peace. And, like, I just started to look at the people in my life who seemed like they handle problems really well, really healthily.
Healthily, yes.
Yeah. And they all just happened to, like, believe in Jesus. And so I was like, okay, like, maybe there's something to this. And yeah, just like naturally over time, looking into that stuff and getting rid of porn and getting like I started to have epiphanies myself that aligned with things that were in the Bible. That was like, okay, like the whole
like
no sex
what?
before marriage thing, for instance. And I was like, I came to that conclusion naturally on my own from so many painful experiences that it's like, okay, I get why we shouldn't have sex before marriage. And it's like, oh, okay, that's in the Bible. Now I get it. Like, it's not because, like, oh, we're going to go to hell. It's like literally they say that to protect your heart from getting hurt. That's why it's there, you know?
Yeah.
But
Because you really combine that person's heart, everything, even if you're wearing a condom.
yeah.
It's still the spiritual part of it. Some people tell me, oh, sex is just an animalistic thing. It's just used for pleasure. I'm like, I really feel like it's more than that.
It's definitely more than that. I mean, you can use it like that, but it's
Not a good way.
it's still
to
going to
live.
have an effect on you spiritually that, like, you may not realize, but yeah.
Yeah. It's like, how do people realize this stuff?
I think that people get to a point where they're in a lot of pain, and then that causes them to look for answers, and then they stumble upon this kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah. Very similar experience to ours.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you were Catholic, did you grow up like super hardcore Catholic and then you moved away from it, or?
I think I would just do what my parents would tell me to do.
Yeah.
And then like go to like a, Catholic school, which I did, but it was like kind of strict. But then I liked the way that the Christians were doing their stuff. Like when I'd go to their church, they like had bands and make it fun and stuff. And then I went to church camp with the Christians. Like I went to Indiana, and then I went to Miami. Yeah, it was great, and I really met a lot of great people, and like whether they're Catholic or Christian, as long as they know that there is a higher power out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I was really into the whole like new age movement mindset for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the crystals, I didn't have any crystals, but I could understand what people
Why
crystals
crystals and whatever, everything else, like ascension, like ascending out of your body into like the fifth dimension or whatever they talk about.
Yeah. How did you get into the New Age, and what made you stop?
I got into the New Age. So I read The Power of Now.
Oh, I heard about that book. Yes.
When I read it, at the time I read it,
I didn't know it was a New Age thing too.
I think it is. I mean, yeah, it's all about like detaching from your ego and, you know, like, yeah, I remember reading that book and I remember really liking it and it helping me a lot.
Oh, that's good.
But then I remember kind of like getting obsessed with that type of information, and like I was getting really into The Secret, the law of attraction, and all this stuff. And then eventually I feel like I got to a point where I was never at peace. I was always searching for something, and like I could never feel at peace. And I think, you know, the whole concept that you are your own God, you are the creator of your reality, like it puts so much pressure on you. And anytime something was going bad in my life, I would get hyper focused on like, okay, like what am I doing wrong? Like what am I sending out the wrong vibration and it's attracting the bad thing? Or like, you know, you just get so obsessive of just like, how do I be on a good vibration? And then the whole twin flame thing, I feel like is a whole New Age concept. And then
really,
like, and all of these things just led me to feeling like lost and confused and depressed. And so I had to try something else. And
and it works for you now. I'm glad that
with like Jesus.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, there might come a point where something will happen and I'll have another epiphany a different way. I have no idea. Who knows anymore?
How long have you been following Jesus and God?
I would say like I started in like 2018, but I didn't really feel like I could talk about it until like recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Why until recently now that you can talk about it?
I think because I feel more confident in it. But before, I feel like there's still a lot of like weird judgment that comes from talking about Jesus. I'm just like,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be weird. We should be able to talk about it,
We should be able to talk about it.
Yeah.
That's so interesting about you, though. So you went from Catholic to Christian to spiritual, and now you said you believe in
God and spirits.
Okay, yeah.
And what about for all the other religions? Like, what do you think of like Buddhism, Hinduism, Muslim?
They're great. Yeah. I mean, I haven't looked too deeply into any of that stuff, honestly.
I think religions have the same, like, one thing is love.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of similarities.
Treat people how you would want to be treated is the main concept I get from all of them. I think there's truth to all of them. Mm-hmm. For sure. I mean, there are some things I'm like, I'm sure you feel the same way.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's what I realized too, is that like something that I've learned from connecting with Jesus is that your relationship to God is very personal. It's like nothing that you can really look to any religion for. Like you just have to develop your own connection to God personally. Yeah.
And how do you build your relationship with God?
I think through talking to him, like through prayer, talking to him every day, praying every day, like just being in constant communication. And when I talk to God, I literally will talk out loud, like I'm talking to another person.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah, I do it when I'm walking places, when I'm like alone in my apartment, when I'm in the shower, like anywhere, I'll start talking to God.
And definitely answers you in so many ways. Doesn't he?
I don't know anymore. I feel like I feel like I want to know the answer, but a lot of times I feel like I don't get an answer. But it's still therapeutic to just talk to God.
Yeah.
How do you get answers from God?
I feel like there's like signs, like some things just pop out of nowhere. Like or I'm on my phone and I'm like wondering about something and then you see it, or maybe my phone's listening.
Maybe your phone's listening to you. I feel like your phone is reading your mind.
We need to get a decentralized phone.
For real though. Yeah, for real.
Crazy. Right? Like, you could be talking about something and then, like, an ad pops out. And I'm like, wait, this isn't God.
That's not God.
This is their AI God.
Yeah. It's artificial God. Seriously.
Oh, yeah. What do you think about, like, AI and transhumanism of, like...
It's totally here right now. It's already here. Creepy.
Yeah.
It's like the metaverse.
Oh, God. Yes. Yeah. They already started the metaverse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, God. The metaverse is a whole topic on itself. Definitely, I wouldn't want to live there.
It seems so creepy. It seems so... I mean, honestly, though, we're kind of slightly in the metaverse, even just being on YouTube or being on Instagram. It's like a level down from the metaverse, you know?
Yeah, it's like the betaverse.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you get to the alpha metaverse when you're really in there.
When you're really in there. This is like such a good, like... middle ground though, because it's like we're meeting in person.
Yeah.
Like we're meeting in person, but we met like somehow through social media, but we're meeting in person, but we're making something for social media. So it's like so good balance of real world and like online.
And communication.
Yeah.
Yeah. We use it as a communication tool and not like, oh yeah, it's my whole life. I'm just going to talk and always there. But yeah, I'm glad that we get to meet up and do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I've seen you at the Freedom events in Chicago.
Yeah, you too. It's been great.
We just run into each other like, oh,
yeah. Yeah, this is great. I can't wait to have you on my channel.
Yeah.
This will be really fun.
I'm so excited to be on your
we'll talk about porn.
Yeah, we'll talk about porn, the metaverse.
And relationships.
And relationships. And we got to get Carly on.
Yes.
How long have you been friends with Carly?
Let me.
And how'd you guys meet?
We met in Arizona.
Oh wow! I want to go to Arizona.
We met in Arizona. I want to say it was 2019. I'm pretty sure it was like 2019 that we met in Arizona, and like, yeah, I met her at an event that she was doing, and should I keep talking or should I wait?
Yeah, you can keep talking.
Yeah, I met her at an event that she was doing with Jonny. And
oh wow, you guys all met there.
It was random, but it was so cool, and she was so bubbly and like smiley and like so like friendly and everything. And so yeah, I met her there, but then we didn't talk for a long time. But she had moved back to around Chicago.
Oh yeah, because she was in the Big Island.
Yeah. And then we started connecting when she moved back here, and now she's like one of my best friends. I love her so much. She's so great. Yeah. How do you know Carly?
From the Hope for Humanity event.
Oh, from the Hope for Humanity,
yeah. That's how I met her.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm so glad I met you there, too.
Yeah, you too, Justine. You're great. You're so funny.
So are you. I could keep laughing with you. I love it.
You too.
It's the most I've laughed on a podcast with anybody.
Great. That's so good.
I needed more females on my podcast.
Yeah. More females who are like open to talking about real stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Women, it's so unfortunate how women like can't like. It's unfortunate how women feel uncomfortable talking about this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's such a real struggle. Like, people are always surprised when they hear, like, that I struggle with porn. Because they just don't assume that, like, women have those struggles. They're just, like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's, like, a stereotype, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it probably is more so men who struggle with it. But, like, I've connected with a lot of women who struggle with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just about them. Maybe they just don't open up as much as men would about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's always great to meet women who like can talk about it.
Yeah. We need more women who can. I hope it inspires other women to start opening up about it, even with their other friends, just in private.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's very relieving to like.
So relieving to just be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can relate and you can vent it out and someone understands where you're coming from.
Exactly.
I think we've all been there, right? Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just about getting it out there.
Yeah. We should definitely talk about addiction when you come onto my channel too, just like addiction in general. Have you had any other addictions besides porn?
Like definitely a drinking addiction. I remember alcohol for like, I would black out my first time and then I'd like do it every weekend. And it was, that ruined my brain cells, my spirit, everything. It was so bad. So bad. And smoking, I used to smoke a lot, like a chimney.
Like a chimney?
Yeah.
Like cigarettes or weed or both or everything?
It was like, well, I'd only do cigarettes if my friends were doing it, but I didn't really like it that much, so I stopped. And then I would smoke a lot of weed, but I don't believe in smoking it at all now, or smoking in general, because it's just, the only thing you should be like breathing in is air. That's it.
Yeah.
Clean
So how
air.
did you quit smoking weed?
Oh my God. I think it was one day when I was just like, wow, this hurts my throat. It hurts there's mucus coming out of my nose, and I'm just like coughing a lot, and I can't even do a full run anymore. It's hard to sing. I need my voice. I'm
you
so
sing?
young. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
I love to sing. Yeah,
That's
we
so
should
great.
sing too.
I'm so down.
Oh yeah,
I'd
you
love
make
to sing.
music.
Let's totally sing one day.
Let's do that.
So you quit cold turkey? Or how did you?
It was like definitely progression for sure. It was like beginning, first the combustion stopped, and then I went on to like vapes, but even vapes are like just as harsh, I feel like. And then eventually I was like, I have to like do something. I have to like put my mindset of what are the pros and the cons. And there was more cons than there was pros. And then I was like, and then I got myself into edibles. And then I used to go to the dispensary, but then they were like charging too much for like what you get. So I'm like, why don't I just make my own? So that's how I started. I started making my own edibles, and I'd make them strong. And like, that was like, wow, you could get the full magic out of this, and I don't have to like ruin my lungs. I like this. And you're high for hours. Okay. So then I was like, there's no need for me to smoke anymore. Even though everyone around me smokes, like it seems like everybody is like into it, and if you're not doing it, like you like, how could you not do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got those friends, right? And
Do
you
you
just have to say no?
Yeah, I know what you
Strong
mean.
backbone.
Weed is such a weird one. It's like I used to really struggle with weed. Like I used to do it so much, all the time, every day.
What got you into it?
Just being in college, and
It's always college, right?
it's always college.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of just like, it became a regular thing in college. And then when I graduated college, I started doing it just more just on my own. Like in college, I would do it like out at parties and stuff. I wouldn't really do it by myself. I would just do it when I was out places.
Right.
But then when I graduated college and moved into an apartment, I found myself doing it more in isolation than out and about with people. And then it became like a isolating habit for me. And and it went hand in hand with porn. Like I would just get high and watch porn.
Well, I could see like how that could feel good.
Yeah.
You're a new woman now.
Yeah. But so for you, are you still doing the edibles then? Or you?
Yeah, like I still like make edibles for people, and like I work with Mr. CBD Chicago, so like I do CBD if I don't want to get high, then I just do CBD for like, you know, pain, inflammation, and like, with our natural endocannabinoid system, and I like that stuff. And even hemp. Yeah, hemp is like not psychoactive at all. It's like a superfood, so I like that. And you could use it for like many things, like hemp clothes and shoes and hemp utensils. We could get rid of plastic with hemp.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of things about hemp for sure.
Yeah, I think it's very resourceful. We could have used that. We could have banned plastic a long time ago.
Yeah. So how long did you say, like from your decision to stop smoking weed to actually quitting for good? Like how long of a process was that for you?
Oh my, that's a good question. I think it was a couple months. Like at first, like you're like, yeah, and then like sometimes you might relapse like one day, and then everybody looks at you like, you said you were gonna stop, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, and then you're like, now I remember why I don't like it once I do it again.
Yeah, right.
And then you're like, okay, well now what am I gonna do about it? And I just have to build a strong backbone, and that's what I had to do. And it just took saying no a lot, and me being comfortable with that, and not giving into the pressures, like the mindset. It's more like a mindset thing than it is physically.
So do you feel like at this point you're not even tempted by it anymore?
I'm like, oh no, and like that's gross.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way, right? Like, oh my God, it hurts my lung, my throat. And
no, I don't. Like, to be honest with you, I still struggle with like, well, I wouldn't say I struggle anymore. Like, I smoked weed at the beginning of this year, like around New Year's.
Yeah,
you know,
it's not like anything like too crazy bad. Like you do it one time or.
Like before, I was doing it literally like every day, same. Like all the time.
Oh my God!
Like,
any
like
chance
wake
you
and
got?
bake. Yeah, like
wake and bake.
Wake up and do it, and then like in the middle of the day, and then like before anything, I had to do it. Whereas now I feel now I don't feel like the same addict, but I still do it. Like I did it at New Year's. I'll probably I don't know. I'm just thinking like I'd probably do it like on my birthday or like I don't know, just like
when's your birthday?
July 24th.
Okay, we're gonna celebrate. I'll make you edibles.
Okay, I thought that was the DJ thing. I was like, what do you mean? The hand motion. You use it for everything.
Oh yeah, I do. I make this hand motion where I like move my hand in circles, and then she thinks of it as like you're DJing tonight. Yeah. It's a good. You gotta teach me how to dance.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's dance for your birthday.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Teach me more motions than this.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, so like right now I don't have like that same struggle with addiction with weed, but I do struggle sometimes with like craving it when I'm feeling bad. And I know that that's definitely not the time to do it because like you're not supposed to do it. Like you're not supposed to use it as a crutch.
Yeah.
And then because that's when it can turn into an addiction.
Exactly.
But that's usually like at the time where whenever people are sad, that's when they want to reach out to something addictive.
Yeah, they want to feel higher from their lower state of mind. Sometimes you just have to soak it in and just be with yourself.
That's exactly what you have to do.
Yeah. And then you think of like solutions from there that are healthy.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what would you want to like end off with? Like,
let's see.
We've talked about freedoms, relationships, porn.
So much.
Right?
I would say that if there's one thing that you can focus on, I would focus on telling the truth all the time. Like, I think that's like I think that's the main thing that all these things have in common is just like live for the truth, express the truth,
live your truth
and speak your truth. Like literally just like revolve your life around the truth. And that's it.
Yeah. And the truth will set you free.
Yeah.
That's why we stand for the truth in all these subjects.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It feels so freeing.
Very freeing. Very
good. And something like everybody needs to hear. When you hear the truth, it's just a whole nother vibration frequency. You just feel it, because there's so many false truths out there.
Yeah.
So many lies and deception out there.
Yeah. And that'll really wear on your emotions. That's the other thing too that I realized about the truth is that sometimes the truth, like the truth is like your emotions matter so little, really. It's like the truth is not based on how you feel about it. It's not based on what your emotions are. It's like sometimes it cuts you, but
the truth might hurt, but it'll set you free.
It usually does, yeah.
Yeah, it does. But would you rather be sad with the truth or happy with lies, right?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, and it's really not the truth that hurts you. It's just realizing that what you believed was wrong,
That is right.
Like your reality shattering is what hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need that.
Yeah.
So that way you can actually be in like a realistic.
You can be real.
Yeah, you can be real in the reality.
In reality.
And see things for what it is.
Exactly.
And then you go about it.
And then you can actually be empowered.
Yeah.
Living by the truth. Yep.
It's so empowering. I'm glad you empower yourself with it.
You too, Justine. You're doing great.
You too, Alana.
Thank you.
Amazing, Alana.
It was so great to have you invite me to do this.
Yeah,
it's so fun.
this is meant to be.
Yeah, and next week we are totally filming.
Woo!
Woo!
Let's do it!
Nice.
Yes! Oh yeah! This has been a great podcast.
Yeah, this is fun.
One of the best.
Really
I would
fun.
Say.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it.
Excited to hear and see it. All of that. Okay, well, do my outro. Thanks for listening, my fruity friends. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you liked this episode. And thanks for having an open heart and mind listening to this. Be sure to stay juicy. Oh yeah, baby. It's Juicy Justine sending you peace, love, and many hugs. Getting raw and real.
Such a great outro and intro. Is that your own music?
Yeah.
I love it.